All right, today's Monday, April 13th. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Over the weekend, I was kind of debating what my next steps would be. In addition to trying to move to the West Coast, where am I going to go with my next creative drive? Besides, I kept saying to myself, I need to start reading, so I need to pick a book to read over the next couple weeks. Even if I just read like 10 pages a day or a night, just to get back in the habit of it. Because it's been a couple months before I read it, since I've read anything. And besides lyrics and stuff like that, I'm talking about like trying to get through a whole book. I did have one book in mind. I'll mention real quick. Maybe this will give me the motivation. What's it called again? The Rum Diary. I started it, but I got through like just a couple pages of it, and that was weeks ago. So I'm gonna try to attempt to read the Rum Diary. Was there a movie made from that? I think so. Was there a movie made from? I feel like that was probably Johnny Depp. Rum Diary. It sounds familiar. Yeah, 2011 Johnny Depp. I never watched it, but I probably remember the trailer since that was probably around Fear and Loathing. I don't remember when that came out. Maybe I'll try to watch that movie, but I need to read the book first. But it was actually kind of interesting so far. I just have to give myself some discipline when it comes to reading again, to build that up again. But anyway, these are some things in my head. Um, I was putting my book together yesterday in terms of just a general outline. So I have 20 albums. I was at 19 albums since September, or I'll just say July, August, September, up till now, which is almost a year. I've written 20 albums, and some of them are only 4 songs, so they're more EPs than, very dense lyrically. But some of them are full concept albums that I'm pretty proud of. Like Willie the Vegan was one of the more intense ones. Cross dressing at Goodwill. That was another one that took a couple months because it was also like an art project attached to the music. But there's been some weird experimental ones. Trabajo Duro y Sin Mierdas. That was just one very, very long stream of consciousness that I would envision as a 30-minute piece of ambient music. So, as I was putting my book together yesterday, I was like, I had 19 albums in my new anthology, and I was like, I need one more to make it 20, because 20 is like my favorite number, and even though I like 19 too, it's weird. When I play roulette, my 3 favorite numbers are like right there, 19, 20, 21. When I used to. I don't gamble anymore. It's a dangerous vice. So I was like, I need to make one more album, and I had a note already made called Wrath of the Bull. I liked how it sounded. I always talk about bullshit, how people spread their bullshit onto you. So I think that's what this album is forming in the early stages in my head. I'm not a huge fan of Jack White. I don't know his stuff. Like, that's the only reason I'm not. I could be. I never got into the White Stripes when it first came out in the early 2000s. It was like, still, I was into like the pop punk stuff, and I was starting to branch out into Bob Dylan and other folky stuff, but I was still more in tune with what I listened to in high school. So in the early 2000s, when I guess the White Stripes first hit the scene, I liked it, but I wasn't a huge fan. I never saw them live. I never wanted to really explore their stuff that much. It was them, and it was like the Hives, the Strokes, and A lot of those new rock bands, I think now I'm more able to appreciate it because I think I've underrated that. I've underrated the White Stripes and Jack White specifically because I do respect the dude for his work ethic and his output. Now that I get a little bit more in depth with his scope of work, with his record label and all the stuff he does, he's probably an artist that I would connect with. I just need to really take the dive to all his stuff. I think he also played drums in another band, like the Dead Weather or something like that. So he's an interesting dude. I don't really. I said I wasn't a huge fan because I just never listened to his stuff. Not really. Jack White, other bands. I want to make sure I said that correctly. Isn't it called like Dead something? The Dead Weather, yeah. And the Rock and Tours, Upholsters. He's got a bunch of other side stuff. But his solo stuff, I did listen to the one from a couple years ago. And what was it called? No Name or something? It was just a blue cover. And I did like it. I put it on my list of favorite albums of that year. I never listened to Blunderbuss, Lazaretto, never listened to any of these. No Name was the one I heard in 2024, and I really liked it. It got some good pub, and I was like, all right, I haven't listened to anything White Stripes or Jack White related, because the White Stripes, that they've kind of not done anything for decades, so I listened to it because it was on a lot of those sites. It was a highly rated album, and I really did like it. There was a couple songs I put on my best of the year list. That's why I'm saying I probably will like Jack White stuff if I go down his discography, even the White Stripes. I only know a handful of songs that are on the radio. And he's pretty cool. I listened to a couple podcasts with him yesterday with Rick Rubin and Conan, and he was pretty cool talking about random stuff. And yeah, he's an interesting dude, so I gotta check it out more. And there was also another guy I just heard today listening to a podcast about Record Store Day, and somebody mentioned Freddie King, and he's a name I've heard a lot as a blues guy, I think, and I just never gave him time either. So he's a guy I gotta check out. He looks so happy. I do remember maybe having one of his records, possibly, or maybe I'm thinking of Solomon Burke, but he's more a souls guy. But this guy just looks like a cool dude, so I gotta check out Freddie King as a blues type of dude. I like blues, and I think, long story short, I'm rambling already. This is my blues. This is my blues album right now. I'm trying to make a blues album completely different than the traditional roots of the blues genre, which won't be easy because that's kind of what Jack White kind of does, right? So I don't know. It's going to be difficult to kind of get a clear path of where I want to go with this. And I'm not really sure yet exactly. But I'm sure something will come because usually as I develop an album, I tend to gain more of a clear path as I go through the lyrics and through stuff I listen to and influences that come in my head. So this first song, you can clearly see where I'm going for with this one. It's called I'm a White, Black, Latino, Asian, Lesbian Man. And it's funny. It's meant to be funny, but it's also a critique, a satire about identity politics. I'm looking for a job. I've been looking for a job ever since I got evicted from my apartment back in September. and I worked for Amazon for about 3 or 4 months, Amazon warehouse. I don't want to talk about that job. I'm just saying I don't want to go back to it because it's not going to help me grow my career that I want to get into. Right now, it's very dicey to look for a job. I don't know, man. I don't want to work in New Jersey or the East Coast in general. Uh, I applied to so many different places in California, Arizona, the Southwest, New Mexico, Nevada, Las Vegas. And I'm just waiting to see what fits me, like even apply to hotels and stuff. I don't think I can do sales, but I'm even applying for sales and marketing positions that maybe I could learn that business. I don't know. I feel like I have a good brain for that. Creative side of it, but I don't understand a lot of the other, well, bullshit that goes along in the business world. Or maybe I do understand it, but it's just really stupid to me. It's annoying to think about. But again, I need an income. I need to think about where I'm going to go in the future. I know what I want to be doing right now, but just like everyone else, I don't have the money to do it. So it's not really good to just keep thinking of it. I could work, make a decent amount of money, and plan ahead accordingly. Maybe I can do both, like a lot of people. Make my music in my spare time and work and survive, like whatever I have to do. I say that, but yeah, there's certain jobs that are just, they will suck the life out of you. So I'm looking for a job. If anyone listens to this and knows of a job for an artist like me, whether it's, I'm looking for full time because I want to make a lot of money and save up to buy my property like I want to do. It's not the ideal way of doing things because I'm 44. I want to get started just working day and night on the music stuff, but that's not happening right now. But yeah, I'm only going to work if I get a job on the West Coast. That's the only place I'm going to go to. I've been to the South just to travel through it. Not like I know what it's like to live in New Orleans or other places, Florida. Like I always think of warm climates, so New Orleans, Miami, if I was going to make a move, but I really feel drawn to the West Coast, New Mexico, Arizona, California, like that little box of the Southwest, even parts of Texas would probably work for the climate I'm looking for. And it's right near Mexico too. But I'm not giving up on that. Like I know I'm getting a lot of scam stuff too. Like you have to be careful. A lot of these companies are pyramid schemes, and you could look it up at least. It's usually the ones that contact you and try to play games with you that are some kind of a scam pyramid scheme. That's why I don't like sales or marketing because it's going to be like the Always Sunny episode with the timeshare and Vigoron. That's what I always picture now. But back to this song. Why am I titling this song I'm a white, black, Latino, Asian, lesbian man? It's because I don't like it when people ask what's your race or whatever, your gender. That's pretty self-explanatory. But when people ask what your race is, like, what does that matter? For real, on a job application. And that's like the first thing they ask, what's your race? I don't like answering those questions. And I don't like being termed, oh, you're white, you're black, or you're this, you're that. I don't like these identity politic boxes because that's what they do. They put people in these boxes and people try to form your identity for you. It's it's beyond stupid that I just don't understand it. If you're talking about giving people opportunity, then I can get down with that flavor, but it's not, it becomes something much more insidious. That's the word, right? It becomes something much more distracting. Like, I don't want to think about this shit. I don't consider myself white. I don't consider myself black. I don't consider myself Latino. I don't consider myself Asian. My sexuality, well, yeah, I'm definitely a straight person. I don't think I'd feel comfortable having a sexual relationship with a trans person. I just don't think I could get down with that. But if I was at a bar, like I'll explain it like that. If I was at a bar, and not that I go to bars, but if I was still in that mode of my life where I was going to bars, getting drunk and stupid, and a very attractive like trans woman, and they're usually like Colombian, man. If an attractive trans woman came up to me, like I wouldn't even be able to tell, man. So it's weird. Like maybe I'm kinky like that. I don't know, man. It's because my only sex life was porn, so you get bored with just watching typical porn stuff. It was usually watching people have sex on ChatterBait because you could watch like amateur couples just fuck. Yeah, that was pretty hot. Or yeah, I got addicted to some other trans porn stuff, probably from ChatterBait and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's weird. Sexuality, even not on a. I don't think job applications ask you what's your sexuality, but some of them ask your pronouns and all that shit. I just don't get down with that. I don't like identity politics in general. Like that's what the point of this song is. When somebody says, "What's your race?" and then they say, "Oh, you're white." What does that mean? Like white isn't anything. What does that mean? European? Because there's some dark Europeans. White doesn't mean anything. Black doesn't mean anything. To me, it doesn't. To some people, it might. But to me, it doesn't mean anything. Like, isn't that the whole point? Like, if somebody says, "Oh, you're so white," I get it. It means like you're white bread. I get the general comedic state of it. Like when Dave Chappelle did the whites on his comedy show, and he would kind of portray those stereotypes. In comedy, maybe it kind of works, but even he got kind of disgusted with stereotypes. So the reason I wrote this song was kind of a statement against that. I don't like being called white or black or anything. When I went to donate blood on Saturday, you can donate blood every 3 months. You could donate platelets every 2 weeks, and I finally had the ability to donate blood, so I went to Red Cross, donated blood. And it's like they always ask me those questions, and I guess they have to for whatever reason. But it's like I would answer Mediterranean. Like if you want to know my race, my heritage, well, that's where supposedly my roots are from, is the Mediterranean area, like Sicily, around the Mediterranean Sea. So that's what I would usually say, like the Mediterranean diet. That's how I classify my race. What does white mean? White doesn't mean anything. To me personally, white does not mean anything. Black does not mean anything. Latino, I guess that's a little bit more specific to a heritage, but I don't know. White and black are just colors to me. Like a black person could be from the Congo or Nicaragua or France. You don't know. Until you really get to know the person. Like the white person could be from Africa, the white person could be from Australia or Russia or New Jersey or any fucking place. That's why these terms are just stupid to me. If it's for record keeping, they just need to know like what your skin color is, then I guess that's the point of it. If on my license, like they want to know my eye color or my skin color, I guess that's a way to classify myself, but it doesn't make my identity. It's a difference between physical description and an identity. And that's what I'm trying to figure out myself on this in this song. This is nothing new. I remember people having debates about this in college. I took a class on fundamentalism, like all the crazy religious stuff, because I was getting into political science at that point. And there will be debates about that, you know, and sexuality stuff too. Like people thought the movie 300, I guess, came out that around that time, and people thought it was like some homoerotic movie that men were masking their homoeroticism and weird shit like that. There were some interesting debates about stuff like that, identity politics. But yeah, I really think it's a stupid way to start any kind of political conversation. Oh, you're white, you're black, you're this, you're that. It's so stupid. It doesn't mean anything. Like when you say something like that, you're saying that all white people are the same, or all black people are the same, or all of this are the same. It's the complete opposite of how I want to approach life, how I want to approach my art specifically. So yeah, um, I don't like people who go into those areas. Maybe I've done it too throughout my life because it's kind of weird to not be a part of a tribe like that. But at some point, you just like, all right, this is fucking stupid, man. So that's where I'm coming from. I could talk about this more, but I'll just leave it there. And I'm not trying to poke fun at it. You're allowed to be proud of your heritage and stuff, but I don't think that's not what your identity is. Um, to me, at least, it isn't. Maybe for you, you just base your entire identity on your cultural heritage, whatever it is. But the white and black thing is stupid to me because it's just a color. Like it doesn't mean anything. What does being white mean or being black mean? To me, it means nothing. So that's where I'm coming from. Even like when you say Asian, that can mean a million different things. What part of Asia? What's your heritage? It's very simplistic view of what comprises your humanness, or you know what I'm trying to say. Um, does your race determine who you are? And there's arguments that would say yes, where your geography will determine your religion at least. If you're born in whatever country, you're gonna usually be a part of the majority religion. So geography does play a part, and I guess that's close to that. But I don't know. To be honest, this song is written like a satire, so maybe I'm missing that part of my written experience. I used to write sketch comedy stuff every Sunday for a good while, and I was like, I want to make a sketch comedy show called Chairs Missing, and I want to write about 20 sketches before I pursue it further, but I only got to maybe 10 or so. And some of them dealt with this, with my own heritage as an Italian, Sicilian heritage. I had one about Mario and Luigi that was pretty funny. But I had other ones about racial stereotypes and stuff like that. Maybe I'm missing that part of my creative, ambitious outlook because I stopped doing that a while ago. I had other ideas for comedy stuff, but I think it's coming out in this song, and maybe I want to keep this album kind of lighthearted like that. But this is my blues album. Like I said, I wanted it to be very bluesy in that Jack Black type of guitar forward style. Recently, I think yesterday, I watched him on Saturday Night Live, and then he played at Coachella, and that was really good. All I watched was the Seven Nation Army, but it was really cool seeing him play that. And yeah, that song aged very well, man. It's still just a killer song. So let me pause this real quick and try to sing this song before I talk more of my bullshit.